Hey everybody, this is Melina from ScrapBookingWithMe.com and Me Crafty Scrapper here on YouTube and Instagram and over on Facebook at Me Crafty Scrapper Creates. Today I wanted to share with you my 7 top favorite scrappy or scrap busting page ideas. No digitals whatsoever required. And then when we get these all put together, how I would arrange them in a signature, because I get asked a lot, can you show us your favorite page setups that don't require any kind of printing of any kind as far as digitals, printables, stuff like that. And I get asked quite a bit, how do you go through in your mind how you want to set those up in your journal signature? Like, how do you prepare that and prep that? So I'm going to try to cover both of those topics in this video and give you 7 of my top favorite ways to scrap bust and get stuff that you may already have in your stash and use that as pages in your journal signature. So first off, the very first one, and I don't even have it sitting here, is Vellum Windows, and they are pages, but they showcase something that might be back behind, and let me show you what I'm talking about. Alright, say you have a piece of vellum. It's a cutoff from whatever else you have been working on. You see this piece of vellum on your desk and you're like, you know, I really would like to use vellum in my journal, but I don't know how. Okay, I'm going to show you. So I need something back behind this so you can actually see it. Hello. Here we go. Because the vellum is about the same exact color as my mat. Alright, so I would fold this in half. So this is just like an 8.5 by 11 cutoff. I would fold this in half and then totally add this to a journal signature. Just like that, and put it in there. And I would put something back behind it that was just beautiful that I wanted to showcase. Say I had this piece, this page back behind it, and this little journaling, and I had an inspirational quote or something. I want to showcase that. So what I'm going to do is figure out about middle of this vellum piece, snip it, and then I'm just going to do a crude little window, and you can stitch around this little window that you make. You can just put some thread around the outside of it. I've done that many times, not even got out my sewing machine, just done some thread around the outside of it. Just do you a crude little window. Does not have to be perfect, but I mean, you can go back in there and go, okay, this one needed a little extra stuff. I love grungy stuff, but I'm no barbarian, you know. Let's make this a little better. Okay, see, I love that. I love how it looks just like that. And so you might want to stitch around it. I have done this before. Just get thread. Y'all see me do this before in one of my other videos. I don't even remember which one that was, but if I do, I'll try to link it in the description box below. But you just get some, I like fabric glue for this anytime I'm working with any kind of fabric, even if it is just thread. So I'm going to get a little bit going here, and see, this is what I'm saying. It would be very pretty if you stitched around it with your sewing machine, but you can just do this and go all around, round and round and round and round. It takes a little time, but the finished product, it's so cute and grungy and handmade, homemade looking. Love it. And then when you get done winding, or you get to a knot and you're like, okay, that's not even going to go around anymore, then I like doing a little grunginess like this and just doing a couple of staples to get that little wad in place. And then you just add some more glue if you've got some loose strings that you think are going to go into the inside of your little window here. Just add you some more glue. And then once that is dry, you can ink around the inside of the window if you want to. That's always a really pretty look, is inking all around in there. I love the look of inked vellum. Just something about it. And then you can ink around your edges. So cute. Look at that one piece. It needs a little bit more glue, don't it? Or a staple one. And then if you have a little die cut, sticker, something, put that on there somewhere, just overhanging the window a little bit. And then you put this in your signature. Make sure you don't have any glue on the inside of the page. Put it in your signature, and you can line up whatever this is back behind it that you're wanting to showcase. And so see there and there what that would be. And you could do your little inspirational quote on there. Line that up. I love little vellum window pages. Then on this back side, you could put a larger piece of paper here for journaling, or just leave it as is and, you know, put some decoration on there, any kind of die cuts or whatever. That's one of my favorites. I love vellum window pages. So that's an easy one, a little bit time consuming for that part. Stitching probably would be a lot faster, but I do not machine stitch in a circle very well at all. So y'all go for that. Alright, that was number one. Next, one of my favorite, all-time favorites, is when you have a piece of paper that is too big, really, for the signature or the journal that you're working on. You've got a piece of paper, like these ledger sheets tend to be too big for my standard half sheet journals. Half sheet journals. And so what I would do is fold this in half, and then when I go to add it to my journal, oh, these are too wide. A normal person would just cut that off. Nah, let's not cut it. Let's fold it. So we're going to fold over both ends. So this is your middle, where it would be sewn into the spine of your journal signature, okay? And then you're folding up. Now you've got it where it's fitting in with all the other papers lots better. Let's fold a couple of papers and let me show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so you want some difference in your signature. So you have this one, and it's a little bit shorter now, but you like for your pages, it just gives a lot of visual interest if all your pages are not exactly the same width when you put them in your signature. So with this, you can, and this is where I love to use my project life cards, or you can use guest checks, or whatever you have on hand. But to add just a little bit more interest, you could washi tape a project life card on. How cute is this thing? I'm just saying. On your little fold out. So when you put it in your journal signature, let me get this washi tape started, and I will show you how I add that on to a little page that I like to fold up and have a little flip out on. So you can just add it on with some washi tape, or you can glue it on the edge, whatever you want to do. Washi tape just gives you a little bit more leeway here. Then on this side, I would actually get some glue glue it so it doesn't come off. So now the washi is just kind of decorative because it's glued on that one side. You could also just do another big long piece of scrap of some kind there. So now you have extra journaling space, little extra visual interest here. So you're flipping through your journal. We need to add something here too. Beautiful pages in your journal. That one's kind of a little wild. And then you get back here and go, oh, okay, that is so pretty. Oh, wait, it's interactive. So you can fold this out. Like I said, add more, like a longer piece, as long as the page is. Whatever you would like to do. It just gives you a little bit of visual interest and adds to it. Let's add a guest check on this other side and use a different washi tape. And you could also add something out here on the other side too. That's something. And I love these little guest checks because they give you all kinds of space to write. They're beautiful. I love me a guest check. Okay, and then on this side, put some glue down so it stays on there and you don't get any kind of ripping or anything when you go to fold over that guest check. So there it is, glued on. Now the washi tape is just decorative. Okay, and then on this side you could do the same thing, add a little card. Wouldn't even have to add it to the middle. Ooh, I like that one. It matches that really good. Let's ink it. So now you're just going to want to barely hang it over, because when you flip out, you'll get resistance if not, see? So you're just going to barely want it to hang over just to give you a little extra stuffs here. I like that. Just like that. Let's get my brand new glue bottle that I maybe won't have to fight with. And I'm going to go all the way over. Just give myself a little bit extra there, and then you could always put on a beautiful die cut of some kind, like that. And then you fold this one out. Got all that. You have this. You could add some cheesecloth onto that, give it even more interest. Beautiful little flip outs for your larger, I mean, if you've got magazine pages you want to add to your journals, this would be great to do with magazine pages. Just put it in as is and then fold it under and then add something, a visual interest of some kind inside. So that's number 2. Alright, so my third idea, and y'all have seen me make these before if you've watched any of my recent videos. Let me find my... Alright, Franken Pages. Lots and lots of people like using book pages in their journals, but they don't like for the wording to go sideways when you're flipping through. Okay, so like this. I put these book pages in this little signature and the words are sideways. There's a lot of people that are like, nope, 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 that's a big no for me, dog. I don't do that. Okay, so easiest way to fix that problem is make you a Franken page. So get out your scraps, and I won't spend too much time on this because I just did a video about these. Saw Miss Julie at Camellia Crafts Designs do this, and I was like, that is genius. I have done that before, but it was years ago, and I need to get back to doing that. And so I did a little video of that, and I said in this video I'm not going to use digitals, so I will not. I'm just going to make this one a little bit wider, not too much. Okay, so I need to trim this there, and I need to trim it. Okay, and add this on, even it up with what I've already put on there. Okay, and I'm going to fold this over, and now I need to extend this side out that far also. So I'll get another scrap or two and do that. Ooh, look at this. This would work. And I could just use it and wouldn't have to do two pieces. Very cute. So I need to, and I'm fine that it's not as tall. So I need to trim this here to add it onto the front side. I love these little vintage mannequins. Let's see where my mark is. There. And of course, yes, you can ink the stuff, but I'm just, for time's sake, video sake, I'm not inking my pieces. I keep knocking over all of my glue bottles. Good grief. Okay, and then I'm just going to smoosh it over until it meets up with those pieces back behind it. Pretty. And then you can add, I like to do this, just because there's a raw edge there and it's not inked, and just to give it a little more interest, I like to do some little thin washi. This is another way to use up some of that washi. Everybody had washi back in the 90s. Or early 2000s, and you hadn't used up all that washi. Here's a little way to use that up. And then just fold it over. And you can do the same thing here, but I like that torn edge look showing. And then let's do one on the inside here. I love this red pattern. Here. And then fold that over. And now you've got a book page that's a little bit taller. I'm going to trim this just a touch, just to kind of even that up. Didn't like how that looked. The bottom is fine. The top looked weird. Okay, so then if you've got a little signature here started, you have this little book page, and the words are straight up and down for you. There you go. There's the start of our signature. So that was number 3, and I will link where I just made Franken Pages in a video in the description box below, so you can go and watch that one. Number 4 is paper bag into journal page. So I know that I love to use paper bags as pockets in my journal signatures. I love just folding these over, trimming this, and having this being sewn like this. Visualize it in your mind. And this is a pocket on this side, and here's your pocket on this side, which I would do it this way. Here's a pocket on this side, here's a pocket on this side. It's sewn into your signature just like that. That's a great way to use paper bags. Easy peasy way. Another way, though, that I love to use paper bags is like this, y'all. Just watch. It's genius, I know. Nobody has ever thought of this ever before. I'm fibbing. There's plenty of people that have thought of this. Okay, you're going to cut it down one side, and then you're going to cut across the bottom. just like that, all the way across. Does not matter if you get it perfect. Okay, so then you would sew this in. This would be your spine. You would sew that in. You've got 2 pages. The better thing to do with this, even from this, is crumple it. This was one of those bags I just cut before I started the video, and I crumpled it. I love me some crinkly stuff in my journals, y'all. So look how cute that is. It can be added to a journal signature, easy peasy, just like this. You got to, after you've crumpled it though, you got to find the center again. There we go. And then you add it in. You can add some scrapbook paper on here to journal on if you wanted to, or just leave it as is. Add you a few little die cuts, and there's you a crinkly part of your journal. You can leave it just like this. You don't have to crinkle it at all. Another great way, because these bags, usually the bags that you use for pockets and such sideways, are bigger or just right at the exact same size as your other pages. So another way to dress this up a little bit before you even add it into your signature is to machine sew around it like this. Look, ain't it just beautifully ugly? Oh, babe. I love it though. Just a little zigzag. Put it in there. And you've got a pretty little element, hand stitched sewn element. You can just add it in like that, and you don't have to crinkle it at all. Okay, so getting your paper bag, brown paper bag, white bags, whatever you have, whatever bags you have on hand, lunch bags, maybe cut off the tops of those and do the same thing with those. Too cute. Make your pages in your journal. So that was number 4. Number 5, let's say you have a glassine back. I'm going to open this up so that you can actually see it. You have a glassine bag and you want to add it as a pocket to your journal, but when you add it in the middle, fold it in the middle, you've got really short pocket in there. It's not really going to hold that much, but you can add it like this, open up this side and have 2 little short pockets in your journal signature. Great. Put some decoration on it. Holds cute little die cuts. Okay, but let's say that you want to have a bigger pocket in your journal, so let's fold it not in the middle. Let's fold it about like this. Okay, so you've got a bigger pocket here. I'm going to add this into your journal signature like so. Now you've got this nice, great big pocket here. You're so happy. Okay, you're flipping through your journal signature. Look at that. Add some interest. You've got a layer here, then this big layer. Oh, I love that. Love how that pocket turned out. But you get back here and you go, oh great, I got this tiny little piece here, and what am I going to do with it? Here's what you're going to do with it. You can make another little shallow pocket there, but it's so short that it's not going to really hold much. So what I would do is add some kind of page onto here, or if you've got a piece of cardstock that, you know, a folded piece maybe would be too big and bulky in your journal. This is not though. You can do something like this and even sandwich it with something else. So like this and like this. That's going to make a beautiful extra page. So let's do that. But I'm just going to do it about this tall. I'm not going to make a really tall one. and then we'll avoid what I've punched out of this scrap piece of cardstock. Alright, so then I'm going to figure out how far over I need to trim this, and then how far up I need to trim this book page, and I need to trim it about there. So let's trim the book page. And then don't throw these away. Remember, with book pages, just zigzag stitch or straight stitch or wonky stitch down the middle of those, and you can add those to pages also. I'll show you that in just a minute. And then I'm going to trim this page, this cardstock page. So then you've really just got this one piece of cardstock, and it's not going to be too bulky in your journal. I'm going to use my corner rounder punch, and with the book pages, my corner rounder does not like those too much, so I'll do the best I can here and round the corners of my cardstock piece too. Okay, went ahead and inked around the edges of both of these off camera, and then I'm going to add glue. Woo! Try to just do a little bitty line. Add glue to the one side. Make sure to get in the corners because you're going to sandwich this together. Okay, and then I'm going to figure out how far over I need to go and make sure it's on the fold line of my bag. That's too far over, Melina. And center it up, and your bag gets mushed there. And then you put more glue on top of the mushed part of the bag. And you add on your other page here that you're sandwiching together. And I love that that's ripped and you can see some of the green from the background of that other page. I'm good with that. Okay, then you're going to come back and you're going to do a refold on that bag just to make sure everything is good. Then add this nice little bag page to your signature. Got that nice little pocket you're flipping through, beautiful little pages in here, and then you get here and you go, oh look, it's a book page and it's sitting straight up. I love that. Oh wait a minute, look at there, that's on the back of it. You can add whatever you want to there. I love that. Very, very pretty. So glassine bag or any kind of bag that you're going to use, if it's a smaller bag, make that into a page. Make a page on the shorter end. Just don't fold it right in the center, and make the other side another page. And now I've heard lots of people say, you know, I like just having plain pages in my journal, and that's fine. You do you put whatever kind of pages you want. You can do a coffee dyed piece of paper and just fold it and use copy paper or whatever, any kind of just plain paper in your journals. You don't have to grunge it up or make all kinds of different sizes, shapes, and whatever. You don't have to make windows in any of your pages, nothing. You can make it as plain as you want. You can make it as shabby chic, grungy, steampunk, whatever that you want. So with these, like this would just be a regular tea stain piece of paper. And if I'm adding it to my journal, I mean, it's pretty, it's fine, but let's add some spice to it. And the easiest way I have ever found to add spice to my regular old simple journal pages is to get a big old long 12 by 12 piece of scrap that I've got and tear it and add it to the edge and make just a decorative edge to my plain pages. Okay, look at that, how cute. I want to tear the edge here because whatever's going to come off the edge of my plain paper here, I want it to be torn. So there's that. And now I need to fix the height of it. And then see if I want to do anything to this part that's coming out this way. If I want to straighten it up, or what do I want to do? Okay, then here we go. We've got it the same height. And now I do want to tear just a little bit more of this edge off, but not do it totally straight. I like that. Okay, and then just barely hang it off the edge like that, so you can still see a little bit of something going on the other side too. Now I am going to ink this because you need a little bit of added interest. So you just ink all your edges of the piece that's going to go on here, and then you're going to also ink that back side that's going to show when you flip it open. So now this side will show too, so I'm going to ink that. And then go ahead and add that on, and just be showing that little piece hanging off the edge of my page. This is a great way to incorporate some cardstock also into your journal that may be, you know, too thick to add a full page of it into your journal. This is a great way to add on a little bit of interest, and then you're just adding just a tiny bit, you know, of something there. So then you can also do just a long piece of cardstock from a 12 by 12 cutoff like this, or if you've got a short page, you could add one of those that I was talking about earlier, the book page piece like that. See, that's very, very cute. You could just trim this cardstock, and this could be an extended edge. You could tear that if you wanted to, or just add on this little piece of book page. I love that, so I'm going to do that on this back side. Just a little line of glue and a book page that I've stitched just a little bit on, and add that on there, and then put that on, and you've got another little visual interest there. Little piece, you've got that showing there. You flip it all the way to the back, you've got a little bit of that book page showing there. Then you flip it over and you have that. Too pretty. So that's like one of my go-to. Every journal that I make has some type of scrappy edge added to a page. And you can totally glue it down, or you could just glue this on 3 sides and have this as a tuck space here. That is super cute. So great little idea for the edges of some of your plainer pages that you put in your journals. And then number 7, card stock that you have that you would love to use in your journal, but you're thinking it's too little, or it might be too thick, or how are we going to do this? So you can fold, this is a tiny little bitty 6 by 6 piece of scrapbook paper, and it's cardstock, but it's not like one of the thicker ones, you know. Do this the same way we did those glassine bags earlier. Fold it where it's not down the middle, so you've got more real estate on this end than you do on this end. So we can do this one the opposite way that we did that other one, and have this coming off here. Too cute, but it's really short. We need to do something to it. We're going to add to it. But look at that, how pretty that is. I'm going to round my corners, and then I'm going to add a little bit of interest to this short end with one of these. This is just one of those, what was it, a little ledger. It goes in those address books. That's what this is. It was given to me. Sorry, I didn't know there for just the split second what exactly it was. So then, just going to add some glue to the back part of that front flap. And then fold that over. And you can trim off what you need to trim off, but it's not too tall for it, so that totally works. You could add you a die cut or something right there if you wanted to, some washi tape there just for some interest, but then you flip through and then you've got that piece there that's totally stark white, so you could ink that up, or you could add some coffee dyed paper onto it, whatever you would like. But that's a way to incorporate little pieces of scrapbook paper into your journal signatures and have a little bit of extra interest. This is a pretty little neutral page. So let's flip that up just about that far. And let's do this one this way. Find out where we want to add it. I'm thinking about just adding it right behind that one. Okay, so we've got that. We open it up, we've got that. Nice, pretty page that we can write on or whatever. And then let's add a book page. And I'm going to strengthen up my book page just a little bit because it's going to be right there in that crease where the book will be folded back and forth and back and forth. So I'm going to strengthen that up some, glue that little flap down, like so. Go ahead and take that out so I can show y'all a little bit better. Okay, so then you've got this strengthened piece that's going to go right up against where that fold is, like that. So I'm just going to ink my short flap, lay that book page in there, okay, then let's add that back. Just like that, and then that page like that. So we've got that in the front, and then you open it up back here, and you've got this in the back. Let's add some really pretty washi right here. A good wide piece, since that's a plainer paper. How gorgeous is that? Love it. So there's a way to add in some cardstock foldovers, and you don't have to have them folded exactly in half. You can have some visual interest in there and add it just kind of 3/4 of the way folded, and then have a short side and a long side. Great for journaling on one side, add some fold out or interest to the other side. Love those ideas. Those are my top 7. And then this would be how I would arrange these signatures, the pages in this signature. So if I've got some regular copy paper, white copy paper, which I don't do a lot of just regular old copy paper in my journals, but if you've got some and that's all you've got, it's fine. Do that. So I'm going to fold about 3 sheets of this. And let's go ahead and get these sheets out that I had already put in there. That was a dyed piece of paper there. And then here's a plain piece. Okay, so we've got these. If you just want to make your signature out of these, all the same size, go for it. It is fine. I should add that the correct way though, just like that. And then let's add this orange piece here, wild on one side, this piece here, and we can add this piece here. Now, this makes a beautifully respectable journal signature. You don't need anything else. Make you a cover, sew it in, and you're good to go. You've got a nice little journal. But if you want to add some interest to it, I'm all about, let's make something out of nothing. Let's make this as visually stimulating as we possibly can. I love doing that with my journals. So we've made this page. We've made this page. We've got a lot of little Franken pages made here. We've got a fold out page. We've got a Glassine bag page here. We've got a paper bag page here. We've got a Franken book page here. So this is how I usually try to arrange my journal signatures. So all of these are the same, pretty much the same width folded over. So I want to add short here. I want to add something short here or smaller here. So that's how I do it. This is like every other page. And then you have visually interesting pages in between. I would put my bag that I've crumpled and sewn around, I would put that in the middle. I would do that as my middle of my signature. Okay, for the front here, I would have something short with some interactive parts here. And then when I open this up, okay, this is really plain looking, so I, myself, would want something added here. So let's do this bag. Okay, that still is a little plain for me. So I would get something even more visually interesting and add there. And see, even though we're adding pages that almost look alike, we've still got some interest on the edges throughout here. Okay, and then you open this up. Oh, that's very plain looking. So let's add something else in there. This little Franken book page here. Too cute. Right there. Here, I would add a little fold out of some kind there. And maybe even add, for me, because it doesn't matter to me, I like my book pages sideways. So let's see, I've got some dyed book page somewhere that would look good here. If I can pull it out of my shelf. Goodness. So I would do a little sideways dyed book page just to break up all of that white right there. See, too cute. Love that. And then here I would add something like my Vellum Window page here, and then have some kind of visual interest right back behind that window. So maybe a die cut, or like I was saying earlier, a little quote of some kind. So let's figure out where we want to put this little tag here. And we want it there. So I would just glue down a little element on the edge of it, and then glue the tag like so. So that way when I close that window up, I can see that tag through the window. Just gives me a little something to look at there. Okay, so there's that, and then flip that on over and you have this. So I would add this here. And of course you're going to decorate this too. So when you're putting your signature together, don't think, my signature is not as flashy as some of the other people's signatures are. Don't worry about that. You can decorate it up any way you would like. So that is just some of the ways. That's not totally dry yet, Melina. So that's just some of the ways that I would arrange these pages into a journal signature. Now, as far as how thick, that's totally up to you. I don't mind Pac-Man mouth when it comes to my journals. Lots of people do though. So I have heard rule of thumb is 8 pages. So I'm talking about 8 full pages. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and there's 8. So this might be a little too bulky. So put that aside. Add this one in here. You've got your 8 here. And then you could add more to this one and make yourself a double signature journal. And really you just needed, what, about 4 to 6 plain pages, and then all the rest of them are your Franken pages you have made. How cute is that? Alright, so I hope that that has answered some of your questions. Have had that question a lot, and I really love to answer viewer requests or frequently asked questions, because I mean, if y'all don't get the answers to your questions, you're going to go seek it somewhere else. I would love for you just to stay here and get your questions answered. Get your answered questions. I hope you have enjoyed this informative video today, and I hope you have enjoyed my top 7 favorite scrappy Franken page ideas, and no digitals whatsoever required. Y'all have a great day. God bless. I love y'all. You're my people. Bye.